Canada's designation of Samidoun as a terrorist entity, part of its expanded application of anti-terrorism laws, has sparked significant backlash. Community advocates and organizations warn that the move could have serious repercussions for the broader Palestine movement.
Recent labeling of Samidoun as a terrorist organization sets a very dangerous precedent where any arbitrary rule can be applied to just about any organization to clamp down dissent, and the dangerous Israeli lobby that we've seen constantly in the ears of our governments, our representatives, walking towards clamping down on just any pro-Palestinian voice, that's unacceptable.
Samidoun has been labeled as a terrorist organization due to its alleged ties to the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. Legal experts warn that this designation of the Palestinian Prisoner Solidarity Network, in coordination with the United States, infringes on civil liberties and is part of a broader trend with significant consequences.
What we have here is a situation where Canada has not put forward any evidence whatsoever publicly to substantiate its allegations that Samidoun is involved in any way, directly or indirectly, with terrorist activity. What we do see, however, is a continuation of anti-Palestinian bias in terms of how Canada places groups on this list. And it really should be of concern to anybody who's concerned with civil liberties in Canada.
Without any proof whatsoever, the government can list your organization or you as a terrorist entity and deprive you of all of your rights. So the implications for all activists who support Palestine solidarity is pretty serious. That's why we're calling for the government to retract its designation of Samidoun as a terrorist organization.
The policing of the movement has incurred significant costs, with experts noting a hefty security bill aimed at suppressing a large-scale movement.
And we see similar actions as well, for example, by the Toronto Police, also spending millions of dollars, over $12 million, I believe, over the last year, on policing Palestine-related protests in the city. Again, not because these protests pose any kind of threat to public safety, but because they pose a political crisis for the state. And the state wants to address that as much as they can by trying to manufacture a problem that needs to be addressed when really there's nothing of the sort.
We're seeing the criminalization of the movement. We're seeing increased police violence in the street. We're seeing crackdowns at the universities and at the schools. It is quite worrisome. It's at this point, really, that we have to push to defend our democratic rights.
The repression of speech related to Palestine and the criminalization of peaceful protests is taking place in the context of one of the largest and most successful mass movements in North America in recent decades. Organizations say that the right to free speech is at the heart of all democratic movements, not the least of which is the growing movement against genocide. Camila Escalante, Press TV, Toronto.